Hey, this is Chuck, and you are listening to Fans with Bands, the podcast where we talk to the fans and the bands they dig about life, music, and whatever the hell else we want to talk about. Today on Fans with Bands, we're talking to Syphoned. Check it out. All right. Hey, this is Chuck with Fans with Bands, and I'm talking to Caleb, Eric, Carter, and Sam from Syphoned. How you guys doing?
Pretty good. Pretty good.
Good.
Nice.
How are you?
I'm doing great. And we've got some fans. We've got Jimmy, we got Davey, and we got Joseph. How you guys doing?
Good.
All right. Sounds good. Hey, so I'd seen, this is kind of a little rewind because I started talking before, but I'd seen your guys' name, Syphoned, on, opening up some other shows. And I was like, all right, I got to check these guys out at some point. And then I saw you guys were going to open for Atheist and Cynic. And I was like, wait a minute, what the hell? And I'd had tickets, because I bought some through the Recorruptor guys. So I'm like, all right, cool. I get to finally check these guys out. You guys got on stage, started playing, and I was like, holy shit. Like, fucking blew me away. It's so good. Like, super tight. I mean, let's face it, I'm an old dude, and you guys are super young. You're like children, like infants almost. And I was like, how the fuck are these guys doing this? Like, when I was their age, I could barely fucking play. And so I was just like astounded in many ways. But I immediately thought, after I heard you guys playing, I was like, fuck, I gotta get you guys on the show so I could just talk to you and hear about your music and get your stories. So thank you guys so much for being on the band or Fans with Bands, and thanks for the awesome music.
No,
so.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
Cool.
Yeah.
So let's kind of start from the beginning. And like, how did Syphoned come to be? How did the band form? I don't know who wants to take that.
Well, I think Eric should start it off, but then it kind of pivots in a few directions.
It veers off. Well, I guess I kind of started it back in 2019, 2018, like my sophomore year of high school. I came up with the name and wrote the first songs and stuff. And then in 2020, we put together our first lineup, and Caleb was a part of the first real lineup.
Nice.
And we became a part of the metal scene with Carter and Sam up in that Sterling Heights area.
Nice. So that's
how we met them.
When did Carter and Sam join the band? When was that?
So I was in Apocalypse, my last band. We played a show with Syphoned at the Hot Rock, which is now closed down. And I was blown away. It was like I've never seen like a local death metal band before, and I was just really stoked with what Eric and Caleb were doing. And then I joined them officially in April of this year. But we've been playing some shows. Like I had been doing like fill-in shows with them because I was in another band at the time, and then everything just seemed to make sense. I left the old band, and I was like, I'm gonna join Syphoned full time. And then I've known Sam and Joe from Passing Thought for about a year and a half. We played some shows with them, and then Eric and me were like talking one day. We're like, we need another guitar player. We can only think of one person. Play this. So that's where Sam came in.
Probably like 3.5-4 months ago when they started asking me to play.
Cool.
We had seen them play back in, what was that, 2020?
2021.
Okay, yeah, 2021.
Yeah, the Rec
first time we saw a Syphoned at the Rec Bowl, yeah.
Nice.
So we played with you.
Oh yeah, of course. We were both playing. Yes. All of our bands played.
Yeah.
So I know this happens with a lot of bands. So are you all like one band now, or do you have other side projects that you're doing? Is it just Syphoned?
Syphoned. Okay. I do Syphoned. That's my thing.
I do music with Joe as well. So Passing Thought is also still a musical endeavor in my background.
Cool.
Besides school and stuff.
And how
right now I'm only doing Syphoned, but I have some ambitions to do some other things beyond Syphoned while still doing Syphoned. So
cool. And
that
Carter,
I got something I do with a friend of mine. Like it's kind of really getting off the ground. It's called Paranoid Paradise. It's like a more alternative kind of thing. But this is like my main band that like I want to play drums in and everything, because like I've gone back and forth with the whole solo music thing. But I'm in a good spot with these dudes. So
Cool. And so Joseph, you look super familiar. Are you in some other band?
I've only played in passing, but I played drums and guitar in there.
All right. You look super familiar, but I can't think
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm
I
a
was thinking,
stagehand, so maybe you've seen me around.
I was thinking of the drummer from Among These Ashes. Sort of looks like you. That's what I was thinking of. So
Oh, maybe a bit, yeah.
yeah. All right. So how did you? What was like the? How did you want to become a musician for each of you? Like, what was your influences, and when did you start wanting to play live music? You know, because there's lots of people who pick up a guitar or drums, and they just are totally fine with just jamming on their own and doing their own thing, but don't really have an ambition to get into a band. So I'm kind of wanting to know, like, when did you want to go beyond just being, doing your own thing, but being in a band? Let's start with Eric.
Well, my dad was a guitar player, and I'd always hear him playing stuff like Death and Slayer all the time.
Nice.
That really made me want to play, and those were the first riffs I learned just because he could teach them to me quickly, and it kind of just took off from there. And I've been to a lot of live shows when I was a kid, and seeing Megadeth and Blind Guardian and stuff really solidified the fact I wanted to be in a band and play music. And I really started focusing on writing music once Syphoned started, and that's kind of just been my thing ever since.
Cool. Caleb, how about you?
Well, kind of the same situation as Eric. My dad was a guitar player, and he played he played King Diamond, Metallica, Megadeth, all sorts of things constantly, and I really picked up on that from a really early age. And then I started out with guitar, but I moved to bass because I didn't like playing with the pick. So I that when I was 7, and I've been on kind of one track of just wanting to do music ever since.
Very cool. Carter, how about you?
Yeah, my dad was in a band in the late 90s, and he was very much influenced by Green Day, Offspring, Weezer. So yeah, he would always play some of like the music that he would write, but then he would play Cheap Trick a lot. He would play Van Halen, Ozzy. But then I started like listening to like pop punk, Blink-182, Green Day, all that stuff. And as far as like a drummer goes, I started like playing a lot of grunge beats, pop punk beats, Ringo from the Beatles. But then as far as like actually becoming a musician, I just was like, I graduated high school and I was like, man, I need to get a band together. And then, yeah, ever since that, yeah, Syphoned's my third official band I've been in. But I've just always, this band has really kind of helped me be confident on stage and learn to like love playing out. So it's definitely kind of been like, I guess a transitional period, in my life, like learning to love to play out live and stuff, because at the beginning, it was a little tough for me, but yeah, if I can answer that completely, I guess I would say with Syphoned, I've, really found my love for performing.
Cool. That's it. That's awesome. Sam, how about you?
No one in our family really played any instruments, but my grandpa suggested I get a guitar when I was in like 3rd grade. So I took lessons, and then once middle school happened, I started doing like classical guitar lessons.
Uh-huh.
But once we got into high school, Joe knew a few people, so he was like, let's start a band. Ever since then, I've been in like, I don't know, 4 or 5 renditions of different bands, different people.
Very cool.
I always liked writing music, so once I started hearing like more virtuosic guitar players and stuff is when I really wanted to dive into just practicing all the time in high school and stuff.
Nice. Who were like some of your early influences?
Early is like Van Halen, Def Leppard, but then after that is like Angel of Aldi, Jason Becker, Marty Friedman, just all the guitar stuff all at once.
Yeah, the Wizards on the fretboard. Yeah. Those guys always blow me away. You, dude, you are a fantastic guitar player, because you made it look effortless, and that's where I struggle. Jimmy can attest to this if he's ever seen me play, but I fucking like, yeah. So watching somebody like you that has that talent is fantastic. So,
Appreciate
and I'm a
it. Thank
guitar
you.
nerd, so sorry about
Hell
this.
yeah.
I'm just jonesing out on the guitar players.
Ah,
Because
dude,
Eric, I was gonna say, the other thing I really love is when bands have like one of their instrumentalists doing vocals as well. So I think it's very cool when you have the singer is also a guitar player,
Yeah.
or a drummer or whatever, but bass player, because I don't know. I mean, it's cool to be the lead singer, but I always wanted to be able to do both, and that again is another a layer of like I don't know, talent, sort of like being a drummer where you can do multifaceted things where you can sing and play guitar and do and not fuck up both of them. So very nice.
No, definitely took a lot of time. I didn't want to do the vocals at first. I did them out
I
of
feel that, bro.
necessity.
Really?
Because like, yeah, we just needed someone who could do it, and I did it.
Out of necessity. Well,
Yeah.
I'm glad you're still doing it. That's good.
Yeah, I've gotten better and more confident with it. So,
Yeah.
it's the sound. So I'll keep on going with it.
I wish I had an Eric in high school so I didn't have to do vocals, but
That's
I'm stuck in the same
funny.
boat as him.
Oh man. So fans with bands, this is me asking questions. It's opportunity for fans to ask questions. So I don't know, Jimmy, Joseph, I know you're kind of ensconced with these guys anyway, but you might have questions. Or Davey, anybody have questions for the guys in Syphoned?
We planted audience members.
That's the way to do it, man.
Right.
I have one.
Right.
So, well, a comment first. I know if Davey's on here, he did the two neck new stuff and did vocals out of necessity. And I always am in awe of anybody that can sing and play like that. Because if I'm playing and you talk to me, I just forget what I'm doing and I immediately mess everything up. But I was curious, where did your guys' name come from?
Oh yeah, good.
Oh, I got it. Like the Cannibal Corpse album, Evisceration Plague. There's a on the CD we have. There's a DVD of the making of, and I always like watching making of albums. Because it's what I want to do. I like watching people do it.
Yeah.
And when Eric Rutan was recording Corpse Grinder doing vocals, they were reading through lyrics that were written, and one of the lines just had the word siphoned in it, and they were, they liked the word. They pointed it out and they said, that's a cool one. And I was like, well, I kind of like that too. I had to call the band that.
Awesome. Love it.
Cool. Awesome. Any other questions from Davey, Joseph, or Jimmy? No?
Yeah,
Go
I
ahead.
was wondering if you guys are listening to any albums recently that you kind of want your new material to sound like sonically. It's not like writing wise, but like, are there any like snares or kick drums or just like overall sonic things you guys are hoping for your new album to sound like?
I'm gonna point to the last Revocation record that came out.
Oh, that sounds awesome.
Yeah, it's called Nether Heaven. I just think the drum tone on that is, well, I know they recorded that album in the same drum room that they did the album that came before it, but it just sounds so much more poppier. Like the snare just has more pop. And I'm gonna pick a kind of controversial, or it's not like controversial. It's just not like it's not like a genre I know Eric Caleb really messed with. But the new Crown the Empire album has some good tones. I know a lot of it is probably sampled out or replaced or something. But I really enjoyed that album. That's got a good tone for drums on it.
Nice.
Hey man, guitar wise, there'd be the John Arch EP. It's not new by any means. It came out 20 years ago now, but the John Arch EP called A Twist of Fate. I want my guitars to sound like that on the next Syphoned thing, because they're very bright and they're very punchy, and I don't know, they just sound beautiful to me. Yeah, that's how I want my guitars to sound.
Nice.
All right.
So
I'll have to check that.
I'm sure.
Get ready for some funky vocals, dude. That's all I gotta say.
I'm sure my bandmates already know what I'm gonna say, but when it comes to the bass, for sure, Sean Malone focus type deal, or Jerome Paul Tesling on Spheres, sort of bass tone, you know.
Yeah, yeah, that tone on Cynic on Focus. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
beautiful.
yeah, yeah. And at
Cool.
first I wasn't a huge fan of the vocals, but I definitely got into them after the fact. And then seeing them live, it was like, wow, this is really cool. So, and I'd seen them years ago, but like way back when they opened for Cannibal Corpse, which was a fucking
Oh,
train wreck, by the way, because everybody fucking hated them. They were like getting booed off the stage. People were like saying "fuck you" between every song, and I'm like, why? These guys are fucking awesome. But anyway,
that's a shame.
I know.
That's
That's
what
Oh,
happens when you
the break.
sing at the death metal show.
Yeah.
Right.
I have one more question.
Yeah, go for it.
How did you guys feel after that Cynic Atheist show? Like, what was like riding that wave? Like, what was that like? Because
Euphoria.
that was an amazing show, and you guys absolutely crushed everything you did. All new material. The death cover was spotless.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just curious how you guys felt, because I know some of you guys got autographs and pictures, and I was just curious how you felt.
I was rolling, I mean, I've heard Cynic my entire life. I mean, Trace Thin Air came out a few years after I was born, and my dad played the shit out of it forever. And yeah, it was a lot of those songs scored my childhood, and just it was trippy for us, and it was trippy for me to see my dad. That was a cool thing too, because he was tripping that we were opening for a band that he's been listening to for 30 years. And, so I felt, you know, just it was the greatest night I could ever ask for. Really,
Yeah.
it was as good as it gets.
Yeah, like getting right off stage, I was like, let me get all my shit off of here so I can watch this show, because
Right.
it's really gonna be like I don't want to miss a thing. And then
Yeah.
yeah, also like I can't believe that we even got to meet some of those guys, and it was crazy because I've never been that starstruck before. And they say don't meet your heroes most of the time, but I'm like, well, screw that. These guys are awesome. These guys are homies,
Yeah, that's awesome.
I was an emotional wreck just because of my attachment to Focus, the album, and also it's Atheist and Cynic were both huge bands for me when I was really getting into death metal and progressing as a musician. So, but also because Sean Malone and Sean Reinert are two of my favorite musicians, and so it was a beautiful experience.
Cool. Sam, any thoughts?
Just pumped to be on the show with them, and as our band like progressively wants to sound in that type of inspiration, at least. So it was just really cool to have that moment. I don't get as much like starstruck by people. I'm just not that type of dude. I don't care much.
Yeah.
But they were just genuinely
I
nice
was
people, like when
I was a
watched
bit
them interact.
starstruck by him. Like Chuck said, he made it seem effortless.
Oh yeah, watching Sam play. Yeah,
Your lead performances were like creamy butter.
right. And he looked.
So good.
Sam, hopefully it won't be embarrassing, but you just look so fucking calm. Like you just
Yeah.
like, hey,
Thank you.
yep, here it is. Like what the fuck? But yeah, so.
Yeah, and like to highlight Sam here for a second. The last time Convulsus, Jimmy, Davey, all those guys, they had seen us play, it was just the three of us. So yeah, they really kind of walked in like right smack dab in the middle of like our new iteration of this band. And
Yeah.
I'm glad that thank you guys for those reactions. Genuinely. That's
Yeah.
Well, and I definitely like the fact that you and Eric, so Sam and Eric, both trade off, because that's cool too. Because I always love a band that has twin guitar players that can rip. So,
Oh yeah.
very cool.
I think it's essential to
Yeah.
having a really cool vibe.
Yeah, yeah, because each guitar player is going to add their own little piece to it, and
Yeah.
as the bass and drums do too, because you guys are all like super talented. So it's it's very cool to be able to weave all that into the music and make it come off cleanly and like powerfully, right? Because you can wank all day and it'll sound like fucking wank, right? I've seen so many bands where they're just like they're super technically proficient. There's no emotion. Like I don't feel anything. And I know some people, well, I know a lot of people love Dream Theater, but I went to see them. I was bored out of my fucking mind because I love Petrucci. I love them playing. Seeing them live, like I could have sat home and listened to a record and not pay $10 for a beer. So I was just like, whereas, when you see some other bands that have like emotion, but they play like, just crush, then that's cool. So anyway, you can tell now I'm a super fanboy. So.
No, that's awesome, man. And that's the goal, just intertwining instrumentation is a big part of what we're shooting in for, big time.
So I missed a question that Davey had in the chat, and that was for each of the members, what's the album you've been listening to the most recently? Let's start with Caleb.
Oh man, well, I've been, I'll admit, the last few years, especially since I joined Syphoned, I've been, really getting into different things. Kind of ever since I've gotten more into progressive territory, my mind's kind of been more open to different things. So I've actually been listening to the live album by Japan. I don't know if you heard of the band Japan called Oil on Canvas. I've been listening to that a lot because they're great bassist, Mick Karn. So I've been listening to that one kind of nonstop lately.
Cool. Making a note of that so I can check it out. Cool. Eric, how about you?
Probably the record I've been listening to the most would be like Jethro Tull's Aqua Lung.
Nice.
I'm really having a hard time not listening to that one lately. It's just, I don't know. It's very cool.
Yeah, that's a killer album.
Yeah.
Carter, how about you?
Shout out to Adam from Convulsus for recommending me Shotgun Justice by Razor. That's a great record. I've been listening to that. That's
nice.
Canadian thrash from the 90s. Yeah. Also, I've been listening to a lot of Alice in Chains. I've been listening to the self-titled album, Tripod. I've been on a big Trivium kick, and Sam knows because I always talk about specifically Shogun and In Waves. I've been spinning those two albums a lot. And if I could pick like one more like album that's a little bit more wild card, like not, death metal. I've been listening to the new Foo Fighters album quite a bit. It's really good.
Oh, I was going to say, how do you like it? Because I've not really heard it yet.
It's a very emotional album because, you have all the themes. I mean, then now they're saying Dave Grohl also lost his mom too.
Seriously? Around the same time? Wow.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's definitely a hard record to swallow if you're, a little bit more emotional. I mean, there was like one or two moments that made me tear up, but it's also a really cool record because Dave's playing drums on it. It's the first time Dave's played drums on, I think, since the first record.
Yeah, because he recorded everything on that one, did he? I think.
Or actually, Color and the Shape, he re-recorded all of Williams' drum tracks, unfortunately. Well, that's what they say. I mean, liner credits, notes, everything aside. We'll just count the first record, but but yeah, Dave plays his ass off on the drums, and the drum tone's actually pretty unique because Foo Fighters are known for like the big drums, like the Gretsch drum kit, but this album it's kind of a more lo-fi drum sound.
Oh, cool.
But Dave's still beating the shit out of the drum set. So yeah, that's what I've been listening to lately.
Cool. Sam.
Probably the last like few weeks, I've been listening to the Sorrow Eater EP, Enlightenment.
Oh, cool.
They're like tech deathcore, and then the new Ocean's 8 Alaska album I've been listening to a lot the last month. I've been playing a lot of guitar too with it. So
nice. What was the last band?
Disparity by Ocean's 8 Alaska.
All right, cool.
They're like progressive metalcore, so like it's newer age production, but super dirty, filthy rhythms.
Excellent.
Oh, can I put in one more because it's like
why not?
Technical. It's Fallujah.
Fallujah,
yeah. Their latest album. It's from last year. It's called Empyrean.
Nice.
Really fast blast beats.
Nice.
Yeah.
Jimmy, how about you? What have you been listening to? 1 second from Jimmy.
I've been listening to basically the Cavalera Conspiracy re-recording
Oh,
of
Oh
their
yeah.
EP and their first album, and I was kind of curious what you guys thought about re-recordings because they did change some things up, and I mean, better or worse, like I love it. I worship Max Cavalera anyways, but
yeah,
either way, yeah, that's all I've been listening to basically.
cool. I can give or take, like, if an artist wants to re-record their album for whatever reason, it's fine. But me personally, sometimes, like, I don't necessarily go seek it out. I know some people are like so into a band they'll like, I gotta have every iteration plus every color of vinyl plus whatever. I'm just more like, if I like that one, great. If they redo a song and it's slightly different, half the time I found, like, with re-recordings, they barely are like rearranging anything. It's more like, I didn't like the drum sound, or I didn't like how the levels were on this guitar, so they tweak it a little bit. So I don't know.
I
That's my
mean,
thoughts.
they completely changed the riff in Troops of Doom.
Really? So that's
Yeah, a
kind of
little bit
crazy.
from that gallop. So it's a little different, but I like it overall. I think it's pretty good. But
Nice.
it lost some of its uh fierceness, I guess. It's not as hard.
Oh, well, that's a bummer.
I mean, it's really great, but it's
Yeah.
not as hard.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. Joseph, how about you? What have you been listening to?
I've listened to a lot of Buried Alive. Them a whole lot. I've been listening to this. Have it over here actually on set. It's like Ravi Shankar record. Been
Oh,
listening to a
wow.
lot of him recently. I kind of just read to that. It's a lot of and Vela Mayo's latest album, Mother. That one's probably been on a huge rotation when I go into work.
Cool. Awesome. And we've got Sam here who has joined. Sam Bell. Are you there,
Oh,
Sam? Are you there? Maybe? No, I don't see him.
Yeah, I'm here. Sorry.
Oh, there he
I'm
is.
actually Samuel and Joseph's uncle.
Oh, hey. Hey, Samuel.
A fan of Syphoned.
Very cool.
I was just, interested. Actually, I'm so sorry I missed the gig at the Sanctuary. I really wanted to see that. I'm glad to hear that it was awesome for you guys. But I was just curious to see like what the band was like and what the conversation was about. And I'm really happy to hear that you're listening to Aqualung. I listened to that. Tons. Crazy.
Awesome. So what have you been listening to yourself?
I've been kind of a rut, honestly. A lot of classics, a lot of classic rock, and like 80s fun rock, like the Cars and
Nice.
missing persons.
Excellent.
My kids make me listen to thrash. Just wanted to say hello and not to be some creeper hit sitting here at the meeting. But
no worries, man.
Oh, thank you for the kind words, man.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, Uncle Sam.
Sam and Joe actually give my sons lessons. This is Lucas. He
All
plays
right.
Lucas.
yeah. So they're both musicians. They take lessons from the Corliss boys. So
That's cool.
That's awesome.
Very cool.
Joe in the future, and nice to meet everyone.
Yeah.
Take it easy.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you.
Cool.
Hey, Davey, how about you? I know you're muted, but you can chat in there.
Davey, what have you been listening to, bud?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yes.
Most recently, new Convulsa songs, kind of obsessively, just because I got to learn. And but in my leisure time, Carcass Necroticism's been on like heavy rotation lately.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
What about Luciferian?
More disincarnate than Luciferian, but that's a good one too.
Nice. Very nice. Yeah. Old Carcass is awesome. I was just listening to Heartwork, and I've also been a little bit on a kick of Forbidden, just because they're reformed. And
Oh yeah.
they're my most favorite band ever, pretty much. I mean, there's a few bands that are favorites, but Forbidden Twisted into Form is fucking. You can't get much better than that.
Oh, it's one of the greatest thrash records ever.
Yeah, I'm almost contemplating like buying a plane ticket to go to see them with Death Angel in December, because I'm like, oh, I just got to go. So anyway, so I have a question for you guys, and it's when you the first time you guys played together on stage, what do you remember about that, and what did you learn? What was kind of a takeaway from that first time you were together on stage? And let's start with Carter.
Well, the first time that I played with these dudes, it was Parts and Labor show. Well, I mean, we played Eric and Caleb's backyard a few weeks ago, so we kind of had some prep, already there. But I just kind of learned, like we talk about it, before we play, like, hey guys, like just I'm gonna keep a steady beat, you follow me, everything, the transitions, just try and keep them as clean as possible. But I learned our first time playing Parts and Labor, we were playing all of our EP, and there's a song on the EP that we're kind of phasing out from our live set and everything, just because it's a little off the wall. And I kind of fumbled in the sense that, like, I should have listened to the monitors a little bit more, and I was just kind of raw dogging that song. Um, so yeah, playing with Eric and Caleb and Sam has taught me that, like, this music can get very technical, and it can get very hard to know your place and everything. So I've really tried to make sure, before we play, like, we have a good sound check, that the monitor is turned on. Funny enough, at the sanctuary, we were about to go play, we had to, like, figure out how to get my monitor turned on. And if we didn't have it on, I mean, the show would have still been fine, but it was just great to have it with me. So yeah, just a few small lessons here and there playing with these
Cool.
guys.
Awesome. Eric, how about you?
Same thing with Carter. There's just small things. We only had one lineup before that played live shows, and compared to that live show to this live show, it's polar opposites. It's we really are like two totally different bands, from someone who had seen us the first 3 times we played versus the last 5 or 6. It's really it's been a crazy jump, but I noticed, I think we got something special. I love playing with these guys. We seem to get a cool reaction. That's definitely something I've taken away. It's either they have something nice to say, or they don't say anything at all and they just look at us weird. It's one of the two. And that's cool with me.
Cool. Awesome. Sam, how about you?
I had a few weeks before the first show to learn all the songs, and we had like 2 full practices where we played through them. So I wasn't really worried about playing them because I had about a month to prepare anyway. So on stage, it was more so just making sure I'm locked in and paying attention to what they're doing. That's about it. My main focus, like when we actually play at the venue.
Yeah, cool. Caleb, how about you?
For me, it's I guess I can't really say anything much different than, what everyone else has said, but I would definitely say, it's been a much more, I guess, enjoyable, not to knock, what we were before the previous lineup, but it's definitely been a lot more, exhilarating to play with Carter and Sam, because I don't know, it's just there's something about the 4 of us playing together that's really, something works there. There's a connection there, and it's really I feel like it's made me improve as a musician on stage, and I hope it's the same with the other guys too.
Cool.
Yeah, it was never more awkward than we already are.
Right.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So I think I heard, and I believe I read that you're working on new material recorded. Where does that stand? How soon can we look forward to new music from Syphoned?
Well, right now we're just working on recording guitars. Hopefully at the latest, the beginning of the fall. We want to get this done as soon as we can. We're working really hard on the last few songs so we can put together a longer release towards the beginning of next year, hopefully. And
Nice.
so hopefully, by the beginning of fall at the latest. Definitely got to buckle down and get her done now.
So, how do you guys feel about well, two questions, and I'll start with this one. What's the songwriting process like for you guys? Is it one guy comes in with a fully fleshed out idea, and you guys kind of tear it apart or look at it and go, oh, "This is great, and I'll add my parts," or is it more you're in a jam space together, or something like that? Somebody has a riff, and then everybody builds off of it.
Oh yeah, I mean, go ahead, Eric, because you're.
I'd say it's more the first thing, but it's not a fully fleshed out idea. It's, to me, I give them just a bunch of riffs. That's the way I look at it. That's really all I give them. The riffs I like in the order that I like them. That's about it. And then Carter writes his drums to it. We talk through it and we figure it out. Caleb writes his bass to it. Sam writes his guitar parts to it. I try, it's as open as it can be. So
Nice.
everyone gets their piece in.
Cool. And how do you feel that this album compares to the Eulogy EP?
Night and day, once again, two totally different bands.
Because that Eulogy, that EP is good. I mean, there's good songs on there. It has kind of raw production, but the music that you were writing then is good. So I was just curious, do you feel like songwriting has changed at all? Are you trying to do different things, or I think multiple of you have mentioned like more progressive elements? Is you're trying to introduce more of that?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, really, I guess it started. Caleb asked when we had our first lineup if we could write a 10-minute epic. That's what he asked. And that planted the seed for everything. So I was like, okay, now I get to work on this stupid 10-minute thing. And then I ended up putting together End of a Time, and it got cut down and stuff, but that was like the first song in that vein that was more melodic. It had weirder parts. It went off places, and and it just, everything got a little more technical and a little bit weirder. And especially, since Carter's joined, everything's got more technical and weirder because he brings in this totally other world of music that we really don't, he listens to other stuff than we do. I'm a metalhead through and through, and all those guys aren't. So they just, there's a lot of different stuff blowing through everyone's playing.
Yeah, Eric's all fine and dandy with my drum parts until I bring in the samba parts. That's when he's like,
what samba parts?
I'm joking because I have not brought any.
Right.
Samba.
I mean, if I could I was
I'd fight you.
Well, Atheist does it. I mean,
there's
they definitely do.
I mean, I was hanging around, Eric and Caleb when they were recording Eulogy, and it's definitely more of like a statement of like where the band was at during that time. And then, we want this new EP to sound a lot better, and just kind of also make it feel like you're in the room with us, just listening to us do our thing. And there's going to be some cool shit on there too, like some stuff you haven't really expected from a band of our caliber. So
cool.
Well, and the thing with Eulogy too is Eulogy kind of is a eulogy because, like Eric said before, that time, the band from when I joined up until we got this new lineup, it was kind of its own separate era. And then this is kind of a new thing, and we're doing different things that isn't at all like what we were doing with Eulogy. So getting Eulogy out by that point, we were already consciously moving away from, doing more straightforward, primitive death metal and adding more different elements. And Eric and I were already working on the new songs and stuff by that point when Eulogy was done recorded or done.
By the time Eulogy was released, we had already written our first version of End of a Time with Carter. We were already playing with him by that point. So it was moving pretty quick.
Nice.
Yeah. Before I officially joined, yeah, we had a few jams, and because of some like other commitments and everything, I wasn't really, I had a lot of stuff going on in my, life too. But no, but I think I made the right call to officially step in with the band when I did and everything, because yeah, end of a time, yeah, that song to me now, it feels a little bit like it's not like I hate playing it, but it's like, all right, we're playing this song. No, I love that song.
Right.
But it's like,
No.
but it's the one song that, has been with us the longest since I joined. So, but yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like
Heretic
I'm like a
was
year
the
later.
song before.
Think
I'm like a
about
year
it.
behind in that equation. So they all say that about these songs, and I'm like, I've played them all like less times than I can count on my hand for half of those. Like I'm like, I don't know. Like I play them at home, but I play them with you guys like once or twice every few weeks. Like,
Right. That's funny.
but so I
See,
haven't done too much writing yet with them because they had all that material that they were currently recording done. So I'm just adding leads wherever he wants them. Top
Okay.
lined.
Cool. Very cool. Jimmy had a question they put in chat, and it's sadly, Carter, you may have to play guitar or bass, but he wants to know what are your favorite guitar slash bass to use for a show.
I mean, I could answer that question. I do. I do play guitar in my spare time, but I'll let the actual guitar players go first.
So let's start with Sam, and that is
Kiesel Osiris with Fishman
Ah,
influence. It's
nice.
definitely my favorite to play. I use
Excellent.
it for all my gigs, and I use a drop tune shifter so I can not have to restring it because I'm lazy.
Wow. So I don't. What is a drop tune shifter? Is it the pedal?
So
The pedal?
yeah, it's like a pitch shifter, but it'll
Yep.
do semitones. So like
Yep.
in our other band, Passing Thought, we'll play other tunings, so I'll just jump around. But for this one, like I keep this in like drop C sharp, so I'll just like tune a
Standard.
half step standard and
Oh.
then drop it down, so I don't have
Nice.
to like re-intonate and stuff for like different stuff. I don't.
Yeah. So I got a
It's-
slightly nerdy question because I have a drop pedal as well. But do you get any lag?
So no, until I mean, once you get to like, I'd say 4 semitones, 5 semitones, you'll start to feel. It's not so much that there's like a millisecond big difference, but you'll almost feel a decay in your input gain, which will
Yeah.
result in that lack of like a response
Yeah.
because
Do you
you're
ever
dropping the input gain, so you won't actually hit that stage you're looking for anyway.
do you ever get any weird like octave things going on where it sounds like it's almost like an octave pedal going on?
Not with the Digitech one that I use.
Okay.
No, and then for like recording and stuff, I use like on Neural DSP amps. A lot of the newer
Yeah.
ones, they actually have built-in pitch shifters for it, and they're actually really good, really accurate. I don't get like weird octave overtones or something.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Sorry to nerd out on that. Caleb,
For
how
sure.
about you?
This is the eulogy bass. This has been my number one since I joined the band. I actually got this bass at the same time I joined Syphoned, but it's just a Squire fretless jazz bass. I haven't changed anything to it except I took the pick guard off and then I made my own. Eric helped me a little bit make my own. I don't know if you could see that. Make my
Yeah.
modification.
The Woo sticker.
But
Woo!
I mean, I keep my 6-string fretted, which I actually am going to use on the EP and the album. But I'm working on getting a 6-string fretless because I'm going to retire this one eventually. But for now, she's my number one, and I have a special attachment to this bass. So
Nice. Very nice. Did you play that at the Atheist show?
yes, I did, and I had my 6-string there, but I really just use it as a backup live for now.
Cool. Yeah. For some reason I'm just now realizing that was a fretless bass. So cool.
Oh.
Eric, how about you? What's your rig?
And I've used a lot of guitars live now. I've got a lot of guitars in the house, so we've used Jacksons, and my favorite guitar I
I
own.
think
is
you had a
an
white Flying V, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, I have her. But my favorite guitar I own is my Carvin Ultra V, but it's in shitty shape right now, and I don't want to mess with it. So until I get her fixed, I got my white flying V.
Nice.
So that's what I've been using ever since I got her back in the beginning of the year.
Is
And
that a Gibson?
yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's a 22,
Nice.
just 70s tribute. And
Yeah. Very
yeah, I'm surprised she works for what I'm playing surprisingly well. So
cool. Yeah. And it's got the good,
Yeah.
old school Metallica vibe, which is cool.
that's exactly what I was going for. I always wanted one. Little
Yeah.
Jimmy Hetfield.
Oh man, Jimmy, what are you playing? Out of curiosity, can't remember.
I usually rock like BC Rich Warlocks, or I have, thankfully, a ESP. I'm sorry, not ESP, a Gibson. My brain went dead. Anyways,
An Explorer? Do you get an Explorer?
yeah, Explorer, yeah, the Explorer, yeah.
All right,
So
cool.
I did the Explorer, Soloist, and then Warlocks. So I hate Flare Roaches, but I use them because they lock in tuning, and that's about it.
Yeah, they're
We tune to E flat because it's
nice.
a nice Slayer tuning, but I have no idea what you guys tune to.
Sounds like C
Just
sharp.
whole step
D
down.
standard.
Oh,
Just
D?
D
Okay.
standard.
That's for
Perfect
my
death
other
metal
stuff,
tuning.
so that's why I'm lazy.
I
I use
agree.
the shifter for other things.
Nice. Joseph, what are you playing? I see a fretless or a headless.
Oh yeah, I have a Kiesel Zeus. I hopped on that Kiesel bandwagon like Sam. It's phenomenal. It's a 7-string though, and
Oh,
frets.
nice.
Pretty solid.
Nice. Excellent. What,
I got my baby. pretty much.
oh,
Yeah.
is that a oh no, it's ESP, right?
It's
Yeah.
actually it's a 256, which is like their budget Eclipse, but put some EMGs in it. So yeah, it kind of resembles Matt Hafey's guitar at the beginning of Trivium. And then I did just I copped this for my birthday. Just a good old
Oh yeah, Explorer, nice. Is it Jackson or the
Oh no, this is just an Epiphone.
Epiphone? Okay, cool.
Yeah. Dave Grohl vibes.
Nice. Well, as you can see in the background, I'm rocking a Gibson
Oh,
Les
wow.
Paul and a Ibanez Sabre, which is like a 540S, and then another Les Paul. So there you
Oh, nice.
That's what, like whenever you post your albums, I'm like, those guitars in the background are so cool.
They get played every once in a while. But anyway, so you got the EP coming up. What about shows? Any shows coming up? And so when you
Yes.
think of this, think later because this won't come out until August.
Yeah, we got August 13th. We're playing in Indiana, opening for Narcotic Wasteland and
Nice.
Embryonic Autopsy.
All right.
And we're playing with Convulsus
Oh
Convulsus.
man.
as well. And yeah, I cannot wait. It's going to be our first out of state show ever.
Cool.
At
And, yeah,
Pierre's Entertainment Center, right?
Fort Wayne, right?
but yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, Piers, that's a
But-
good place. It's a cool venue. So
It is unfortunate Sam can't join us.
I'll be
no.
doing
So-
school.
We'll have to
My
rock it
finals
as a
week.
3-piece,
all right. It'll
which it
still be good.
bums us out, but
Oh,
we've
they're
done
they're
it
gonna crush
before,
it.
and yeah, we'll be good. Just
Cool.
no liquefying leads this time. Just me wanking my way through
It'll still be awesome.
Oh yeah.
it.
And what else? Oh, so any other shows beyond that? Like fall?
Yeah, September, is it the 23rd?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're playing at Parts and Labor
Cool.
with
Flint,
10,000
right?
Teeth, Convulsus,
Wow.
and
Yo,
I
Duma.
cannot. There it is.
Nice.
Duma. Yeah.
Very cool.
I hope I pronounced that right.
Awesome. Well, guys, I want to thank you so much for being on Fans with Bands.
No, thank you.
Yeah, I've got
Oh,
one last question for you, and that is pineapple or no pineapple on pizza, Eric?
Pineapple.
All right.
Totally. I'm
All
a
right.
huge pineapple on pie person.
Awesome.
Huge, man. My whole life. I'll
Ca-
die on that hill.
Caleb, how about you?
I mean, I never understood understood the hate for well more like I understood why there was a whole debate about I'm pro pineapple on pizza. I mean, I don't, but I'll eat it if I have to. I have no problem with it.
That's funny.
Awesome. Carter.
It's been my go-to for the past like 4 years, and yeah, I've just never understood. Like, we're at a point in humanity's life cycle where we've gotten this bored with the
Yes.
Yeah, I'll die on the hill gladly with Eric
Awesome.
by my side, Eric and Caleb by my side.
Sam, how about you?
I don't like any toppings on my pizza. I'm
You're
just
fine.
perfectly content with my cheap pizza, and I could eat it every day of my life and still just never be sick of it. Just be totally happy. But I have no hate towards pineapple or whatever you want to put on your pizza. Don't judge mine. I won't judge yours.
Right on.
Okay,
Yeah.
with you.
That's right. Joseph.
Yeah, I'm the same way with Sam. Because he doesn't eat anything on his pizza. I've never really ventured out either throughout my life, so I
That's
would
funny.
say I probably wouldn't like it. But I don't care if other people do it. You know, like your pizza, your choice.
That's awesome.
That's a good one.
Jimmy, I'm trying to remember. You're a pineapple guy, right?
I fucking love pineapple on pizza.
Awesome. And Davey has been texting no, angry faces, no,
Yeah, we're
no.
No. Did
Oh man. Well,
That's funny.
yeah. So anyway, well, guys, thanks again for being on Fans with Bands. We're looking forward to the new music. Hopefully, I'll catch you at a show, one of the ones coming up. And yeah, so thanks again.
Hell yeah. Thank you.
Thank you,
We
Chuck.
greatly appreciate everything, man.
All right, cool.
That's
Take
really
care. Many thanks to Caleb, Carter, Eric, Sam, Joseph, Jimmy, and Davey for joining me on this episode of Fans with Bands. I had a blast talking with the guys in Syphoned about their fantastic metal music. We got into their songwriting, new music, and of course, pizza. After seeing this band live opening for Cynic and Atheist, I can't wait to catch them again, and I'm really looking forward to the next album. You can go see them live at Parts and Labor in Melvindale on September 23rd with our awesome friends, Convulsus. Keep up on the latest happenings on Syphoned's website and socials. See the show notes for all the details and links. These are tough times for everyone in the creative industries such as music. Your support of live streaming, purchasing music, and merchandise is critical. If you can help out your local artists, please do. If you are in the Michigan area, consider following the Playing in the Detroit Area Tonight Facebook page. It is a place for fans and bands to support each other and share our combined love of music. Thank you all so much for listening. Be sure to hit subscribe on your favorite podcast service to get each and every episode of Fans with Bands. Spread the word by rating the show and leaving a comment. We want to hear what you think. You can keep in touch by following us on social media. This is a Life in Michigan production. Until next time, be well and kick out the jams.